There you are. All right, and this is for a plea, correct?
Judge, it's a sentencing.
Sentencing, okay. I don't know why they're file stamping this. Let me see. And I don't even. Yeah, it was file stamped. I don't know what happened. All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 010277, State versus DeMonte Williams. Can I have parties announce?
I'm Megan Galloway for the state.
Will Brooks for the defendant, Mr. Williams, Judge.
And are you Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You entered into a plea on January 7th. Why is this taking so long? Oh, PSI.
PSI.
Okay.
That's the only reason I can.
All right, according to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state is opposed to your application for deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2025 CR 005860. There's to be restitution of $964 to Mr. Evans, and there's to be a restitution to be determined to Mr. Granados. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor, and no objections from the state.
Yes, Your Honor, and no objections or corrections from us, just witnesses and argument.
All right. State, you're opposed. Do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor, just the stipulated to evidence.
All right. And defense, you have witnesses?
Yes, Judge. First, I believe there should be somebody on Zoom, Mr. Larry Wheeler.
Yes.
If I could call Mr. Wheeler, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Wheeler, if you could unmute, please. All right, Mr. Wheeler, first of all, I'm assuming no one has any objections to the witness appearing by Zoom?
No objections, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Mr. Wheeler, if you could raise your right hand for me, please.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Larry Wheeler.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Wheeler, my name's Will Brooks, and I'm here representing DeMonte today.
Okay.
Can you tell us what you do for a living?
I'm a high school science teacher and football coach.
Okay. And it looks like you're working in that capacity right now.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Well, thank you for being here. How do you know Mr. Williams? How do you know DeMonte?
I've known him since he was a freshman in high school. I coached teams that he was on for his 4 years. DeMonte actually ended up living with me the last part of his junior year into his senior year until COVID hit. So that was about a 9-month period. And I took him in because he really had a pretty poor home situation, no matter which way he looked. And I wanted to make sure he had a chance to actually make it, because I knew he had a lot of not just athletic talent, but some academic talent as well.
And what kind of person was he at that time?
When he lived in my house, he was unbelievable. I had a lot of people looked at me a little sideways, even some guys I coached with were like, that's a big old joker. You got, a bunch of daughters. And it was funny. DeMonte and my youngest daughter actually hit it off really well. They were very similar ages. He came and watched a lot of her high school soccer games. Kind of became a fan of soccer as it turned out. Yeah, he lived with me for 9 months.
And during that time, and forgive me, I know you made a video earlier, but unfortunately,
yes, sir.
I can't sponsor that video for the court, which is
okay.
I asked you to be here today. In that video, you mentioned things like taking him out to his first restaurant. Is that correct?
DeMonte only ever wanted to eat sausage McGriddles from McDonald's. And I told him there was a lot more out there to food than that. And he'd really never been to much anything other than drive-through stuff. So I took him to his first restaurant. He wanted to eat at Olive Garden. And then I realized when he was watching me and we both got chicken Parmesan, I had to show him how to actually cut that up with a fork and a knife.
And you also mentioned he did things like clean the house.
Yeah,
spotless.
when I was gone for some different coaching stuff, I'd come back and not just his room was clean. And he told me he wanted to keep his room clean because he never had his own room. The house would be clean. Yeah, he'd make dinner sometimes, and I'd come home and I could not believe actually how much he did around the house.
And were his parents there for him during this time?
No, there's no real nice way I can put that I would not put much worth on either his mom or his dad.
And not much family support at all. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, really the only one that I ever saw even try to help him was his older sister who lived in McKinney at the time.
And you so believed in him during this time that you actually took him and accompanied him on college visits, correct?
Yes, sir. We went to his official visits in New Mexico State and to UTSA, where he ended up signing. He hurt his knee about a year into that and ended up transferring to Tyler JC. And that's where he got his associate's degree. I wanted to make sure he at least did that. I knew he'd had some life things come along, like with being a father, that might make it a little more tough to play past Tyler JC if he was going to honor some of those commitments as a man. But I wanted to at least make sure he got that degree.
And during that time that you knew him, did you ever have problems getting into fights? Did you ever have attitude problems?
No. And when I first met him as like a freshman, I could tell he'd kind of been bullied among other things, and he had some anger. But the longer I knew him, the less that showed its head. The only time I ever noticed him being really aggressive was actually on the football field, which is really the only place I wanted it to manifest.
And do you know, did he have an accident at some point, auto accident?
Not that I remember with me, no. And I would even let him drive my car and stuff like that during the time we spent together.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, Coach. I'll pass the witness at the time. The prosecutor may ask some questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Wheeler. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you just fine.
All right. So I only have a couple of questions for you, but when you met Mr. Williams, at what school were you working at?
I'm at the same school that I'm still at now. This is my 18th year at Mesquite Horn. So Mesquite Horn High School on the east side of Dallas.
Oh, of Dallas?
Yeah, we're just on the east side of Dallas.
Okay. Regarding the football teams that you coached on the defendant, were those outside of school or just school?
No, it was school. Yeah, it was all school related stuff.
Okay. And so you stated that he lived with you from some parts of his junior year and senior year. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you just explain kind of the circumstances or personal observations that you made that led you to want to take him into your care?
I was actually, the more I got to know him, like on an individual basis, I realized how few people had really ever like invested into DeMonte. And so he didn't really trust very many people. And I saw all this talent that I don't even think he saw when he was younger, especially about his sophomore year. And I was thinking this kid could play and get a 4-year college degree and play a lot of college football and take care of his family and change his family history and everything. It was kind of my thinking especially when he was younger. That's why I tried to help him so much. But when I realized I was investing positive in him and I got great response out of that, that's when I realized he was really looking for some positive role models that he didn't have in his life.
Okay. And what were did he live with you until he signed with UTSA and moved down here to San Antonio, or what were the circumstances?
That was the plan, but that March is when, of his senior year, is when COVID hit. And it didn't take very long for us to realize real quickly that going back to school was not going to be something that happened in person. And so that's when he went and basically finished the school year living with his sister in McKinney.
Okay. All right. We pass the witness, Your Honor.
Questions as a witness, Judge?
All right, thank you so much for coming. You're excused.
Sure. All right. Thank you.
Any other witnesses?
Yes, Judge, I'd like to call Miss Danielle Gomez.
All right.
Judge, I apologize. I want to be as brief as possible, but
No, we have as much time as you need. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Danielle Gomez?
All right, you may proceed.
Danielle, do you know DeMonte?
Yes.
And you know what we're here for today, correct?
Yes.
How do you know DeMonte?
He is the father of my child.
Okay. And how many children do you guys have?
We have two.
All right.
One is his stepdaughter.
Okay. That was going to be my next question. Does he have other children?
Yes.
Okay. And who does he have other children with?
Callie Rogers?
And how many children does he have with Miss Callie Rogers?
3.
How do you live with DeMonte?
Yes.
And how long have y'all lived together?
We've lived together since October of 2024.
Okay. And so during that time, he's been on bond, correct?
Yes.
Has he helped provide for you and your family during that time?
Yes.
And has he helped provide as best he can for his other children with Callie?
Yes.
And tell me about those children functionally.
2 of them do have autism. The other one, he was just born in February. The other 2, the oldest, the boy and the girl, they, like I said, they do have autism. They have their schools that they go to, speech therapy and other things like that. They have a lot of doctor's appointments that they have to attend to.
Let me ask you this, and going back to the situation, the judge can send him to prison today. She could also grant him probation. In your observation, how has DeMonte taken responsibility for his actions?
Almost definitely. I can say that he most definitely regrets his decisions following up to now. He's most definitely tried to change his life. He's more involved in his kids and my daughter as well. I can say he's definitely on the path trying to get better and trying to do better in life.
Has he ever, does he have goals?
Yes, he does want to get a job and he does want to, do the best that he can to take care of his kids.
What?
With Kylie Rogers as well as me too. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay to be nervous. What does he do for work?
He's in a moving company right now. That's the best that he can do right now. But he is trying to get a better job if he's able to get out.
And what did he do for work before? Or has he done other things for work in the past as well?
The most that I know is security and working for Breeze. It's a bank.
Okay. Has he ever been abusive with you?
No.
Does he have anger issues at home?
No. From my experience, he likes to be alone when he's angry, and he just likes to lock himself in the room.
And if the judge were to grant him probation, or there's a lot of obligations that one has while they're on probation. Are you going to be there to help him and support him?
Yeah, of course.
Does he have other people right now that will do that?
Yes.
Who would that be?
Callie Rogers and his sister, if she can, along with my family as well.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Thank you. You may be excused. You can call your next witness.
Judge, at this time, I'd like to tender to the court a letter. I've shown this letter to the state and asked whether or not they would object to this, but I wanted to give the court a letter. I anticipate there's no objection from the state, from Ms. Callie Rogers.
Yes, Judge, I previously reviewed, I have no objection.
All right, the court will review the letter. All right, thank you.
Judge. At this time, Judge, I'd like to call Mr. DeMonte Williams.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and so I can tell everybody so we can, and of course, you know, I'll listen to whatever you present. But I'm trying to figure out how did this come to this? What's in the stipulation?
We'll get there, Judge.
All right,
I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
I take a rather circuitous route, but.
Oh, no. I just want to make sure that everybody know that's one of the questions that I have.
DeMonte, what do you go by?
Monte.
And did he get sworn, Judge? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Did he get sworn in?
No. Wait, did I swear you in? Yes, I did. Okay. Got thrown off. Yes.
Okay. Monte, where were you born?
Dallas, Texas.
And generally, what was your upbringing like in Dallas?
I grew up with just my mom and really moved around a lot.
Was she an alcoholic?
Yeah, she was alcoholic.
Was she supportive of you? Did she tell you mean, nasty, horrible things daily?
When she was drinking, yeah.
Did you have a father figure in your life?
No, not until I was about 12, actually.
And we heard from Coach Wheeler earlier. Was he sort of like a substitute father figure at one point?
Yes, sir.
Was football part of your life?
Yes, sir.
And what was that experience like?
Being a big kid and getting bullied when you're big and not knowing how to control your body. Then you get to go on the field and, you know, I don't know, between the whistles, you know, just give it your all. Like I used to be soft, actually. My stepmom used to call me twinkle toes in the 7th grade, and then 8th grade, and then the 9th grade. And then I finally started lifting weights in the 10th grade, and I started, you know, just playing the way I was supposed to play. So, you know.
And it's a violent sport, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you were a scholarship football athlete at UTSA, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at some point, you suffered an injury.
Yes, sir.
How would you characterize how you felt you were treated at the point where you got injured by the team, by the staff?
I was treated like an old car around tax season. We're just gonna go get a new one.
They were done with you,
Yeah,
correct?
pretty much. The head coach didn't even know I had surgery on my quad and my knee.
But if you can't play, then
They
They're not-
replace you.
not going to honor your scholarship at that point, correct? Okay. What year did that happen?
2022, beginning of 2022.
And did you meet Miss Williams? I'm sorry, Miss Rogers at some point during that time?
I met her in 2020, actually, the year I got to college.
And y'all had have a couple of children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And previously we've heard that those children need a lot of assistance and care. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Also that you weren't necessarily the best dad at first.
I wasn't. I was splitting time between football, like that's one thing, trying to get back on the field, trying to show that like I had worth to the coaches. So I was waking up at 4 o'clock every morning. I was staying late, working out. I come home at like 7:30. And I leave and go on and lift weights again. And like I was probably at the house probably 2 or 3 hours a day, maybe.
And that's changed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once you were done with football, what kind of jobs did you do?
Mover at the beginning, and then security when I turned 21. My sister helped me get my license, my security license, my level 3.
At some point while working that job, did you have an auto accident?
Yes.
When was that?
August 6th, 2024.
And did you suffer a traumatic brain injury or did they discover some things at that time?
They discovered I've had 3 strokes.
And were there any other diagnoses?
They gave me a heart monitor because they couldn't check my heart properly. They said I had blood clots in my bloodstream.
What about encephalomalacia?
About my control.
Is that some sort of a brain injury or a brain condition?
Yes, sir. The doctor said it could be from sports, like depending on how long I did it, or from like birth defects, from like basically my mother drinking or doing drugs while she was pregnant.
And that's not a situation that can be repaired, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know the types of things that it affects? Does it affect thinking?
It does. It's thinking in my memory.
Decision making?
So
And I'm so sorry. What year was that?
2024.
Okay,
2024, Judge.
and that's August 2024.
Prior to the date of the incident, Judge,
Okay.
the incidents. And let's talk about the incident, the assault. What made you do that?
I wasn't under the influence. I feel like I feel like something that didn't have to escalate so much escalated to the point that someone went to the hospital. I do have remorse for what I did. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wasn't in my right mind because of my brain injury. I feel like I lost control and I did what I wasn't supposed to. Just like a little kid, if you know you're not supposed to be doing something, your parent look at you, you know you're not supposed to do it. I feel like I lost control, which I don't do often, but
That was going to be my follow-up. Is this a common thing for you? Because we know it's happened twice and we've seen it. We're dealing with that today.
I did years of security, being the person that comes in and fixes the problem and makes sure people don't fight, make sure people make it home safe. And I became the problem.
Is there anything else you'd want the judge to know?
I know what I did was wrong. From the misdemeanor to the felony. I'm not here to make it seem like I deserve anything because it's my first offense. I just feel like I'm not the same person as I used to be. I was dependent on alcohol. I had just lost like my truck. I mean, my truck was a big deal because it wasn't just me. It was my ex-wife's forever. She co-signed on it. And that was $60,000. And it just took a toll on me finding out that I got all these things wrong in my head because of what my mom did. And she make jokes about it to me growing up. It's like all these things affected me and I flew off the wire. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't know what I was doing. I wish I could apologize to Sebastian, Mr. Evans, but I'm not supposed to talk to them. I did wrong, Your Honor, but I'm not a violent person because I know I learned in football, like being a big person on the field, you gotta work between the whistles. That's not really my thing. Like I don't like to be the center of attention. I try to be, under the radar. I'm a pretty quiet person. I try not to raise my voice and things like that. Like still, I just lost control. I'm not sitting here trying to sugarcoat anything or make you feel bad for me. I did wrong, Your Honor.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, stay.
Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not asking you any of these questions to like embarrass you or anything, but I have some questions about your upbringing and I think that it's going to help the court as well. Okay. And so in the PSI, you had mentioned some things about your mother, but when you were underage, did she allow you access to alcohol when you were growing up?
Yes.
Okay. And about at what age did that start?
I had my first drink of alcohol when I was 2 years old, and I spit it out because it was nasty. It was, I think, Paul Masson and Coca-Cola. And the reason I know that is because my name was supposed to be Paul Miller Masson. She was gonna name me after her favorite alcohols.
And then in the PSI, you mentioned something about at the age of 11, you kind of started regularly using alcohol. Is that correct?
Yes,
And so then when it's year 2024, you're kind of working as security at a bar, is that correct?
this one.
Okay. And that's how you end up with this case that we're here for today, and then also the misdemeanor assault, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so regarding the case that we're here for today involving Sebastian, I mean, you've seen the video recording of what occurred, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you would agree with me that you're a way bigger individual than Sebastian is, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you repeatedly punched him, correct, while he was on the ground, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then when you were done punching him, you kicked him in the back of his head, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then regarding the other assault, that happened after this assault, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that occurred inside of the bar, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was also an individual that's smaller than you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you picked him up and slammed him down, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Um,
Could I?
go ahead.
I mean, I understand that they're smaller than me, but a lot of the times I'm not the one starting it. I'm not trying to point the finger, but like I am generally a pretty calm person.
I understand. And you know what?
And it's never it's always the people that are under the influence and they pick at you. And that's why I say like I don't even go out. I don't want to go.
I understand what you're saying, and also I did want to commend you for taking accountability and not offering the court excuses, because many people in this courtroom can't do that, okay? So thank you for doing that. But I want to move on to, okay, so you've been on ankle monitor, correct?
It's not for a
Okay.
year.
And so you had 3 violations, right, where you weren't abiding by your curfew, right? That's why you're in an orange jumpsuit today, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so I guess what I want to know and what the court wants to know is how can you ensure us that you're not going to engage in this difficulty or losing control again?
Are you asking?
Yes.
About the ankle monitor or like me losing control? Well, I do plan on taking classes if that is an option for the court. I don't even associate with the same like crowd that I was whenever I did work security. And me and my girlfriend, we have discussed that I won't be doing security anymore. I'm gonna be trying to work a warehouse job until I get my CDL, so I wouldn't be in that environment. I don't plan on drinking unless I'm in the comfort of my own home.
And then, well, I guess regarding the ankle monitor, I mean, you understand that if the judge places you on community supervision, you're gonna have to have conditions that you're gonna have to abide by, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so pretrial is kind of like a preview to the court of if you're gonna be able to abide by those conditions that she gives you. And so my question to you is, what were the circumstances surrounding you missing your curfew?
I think the first time I missed my curfew, I was working at my moving job, College Hunks. We were moving a lot that day. So we were just moving, we were going to different locations and doing jobs for them. So we would be loading their U-Hauls. And that's back when I had to be out between 8 and 7, I think. So we were heading to Seguin to drop someone's load off because the back of our truck was full. And like company policy, like once we signed for it, like it's in our care. So I was trying to like finish the job because I can't just like leave it on the side of the road, and I was a driver. And like that's what made me late the first time, if I'm not mistaken. And I had one time where I had to leave the house where Danielle had just had our daughter Azara, and Azara had belly Reuben. I think it's like that. It's just like a form of jaundice, and she was really yellow. But they had went to the hospital earlier that day, and I was the only way that they were gonna be able to get home because her mom's car wasn't working. So like I know I shouldn't have left, but like I couldn't have them like out by themselves, and I didn't have money at the time because I was working limited hours. And the last time I was just,
You're at the
I
goal.
can't. Yes, ma'am. We were finna move. We were finna move. I haven't been able to find a decent job. Moving situation. People aren't moving right now, and we had to move from our apartment. We had to move into a hotel. Actually, that's why I've been looking for a better job so we can get a better place. But I just wanted to take her out because she's been sitting in the house with me and our daughters for the past month and a half, and she was sad because of me. I'm not a person that's gonna wake up happy because I'm sitting at the house doing nothing. And she had to take care of our daughters. I had to walk to the store because I couldn't pay for our car. I had to walk to the store, make sure she get milk. I mean, there's a lot that being on a monitor I had to do. And I mean, I did take her to the alley so she could have one day. I did.
Okay, you crossed the witness here.
Any further questions?
No further questions of this witness, Judge.
All right, any other witnesses?
No, Judge, just brief argument, if I may.
All right, state, what are you requesting? All right, this is what the court is going to do. The state is changing it to silent. All right, this is what I'm going to tell you. In life, at some point, the decisions you make are your own. And you can no longer blame your parents. And I know you're saying you're not doing that, but at some point, they're your decisions. They're not anybody else's decision, because otherwise, anybody who's had trauma in their background can come before court and say, this is all my parents' fault. And and when I say I understand, about the poor upbringing, I'm not saying I had a poor upbringing, right? My mom was great. My mom is great mom. But I've done a lot of child protective services cases where there are children that are born addicted to drugs. There are children that are born addicted to alcohol, children who are going withdrawals. They don't know why they're having withdrawals because they don't know. It's just happening. And then I've represented children where, their life is going great, but then something happens with their parents, and then their parents are just off the rails doing horrible things to them. And then with you, you got that happening, plus you got the football injury, because plus, what did you play? Defense, offense?
Line.
All right.
Center.
Yeah. So online center, that's a difficult position. I love football. Watch it all the time. But I understand that you take a lot of hits doing that. So,
Judge, if I could add to the brain injury portion, as an officer of the court, I got them yesterday, so I didn't have time to get them in an admissible form, but I reviewed 300 pages of medical records from when he went to BAMC, and the medical condition it's a loss of brain tissue, and it impacts, it can increase risk of stroke, but you have cognitive decline, seizures, all sorts of issues, which to me was the linking factor between this incident and that brain injury. If that makes sense.
I understand that. I always tend to read a lot, and I read everything, nonfiction, fiction, you name it. Children's books, I read that too. So I've read a lot on brain injury, because sometimes I would have clients who'd have brain injuries, and then sometimes it's because people come before me as a judge and I want to know more about what's going on. And then, because as I said, I like football, and they were talking about the brain injuries that people suffer. So the state is now silent. I'm going to give you a choice. There are no other choices. These are your two only options. Do not ask for any other option. One, I can find you guilty and I'll sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Two, I'll grant your application for deferred adjudication, and I will have you on deferred adjudication for 6 years. And what I can tell you, I am not going to be the judge if you have a motion to revoke. There will be another judge sitting here. It won't be me. So those are your two choices. Which do you choose? All right, do you need to discuss this with your attorney?
No, Judge.
All right, this is what's going to happen. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years a deferred adjudication. And I'm following through with the restitution amounts that are listed in the PSI and TAP.
The only one I had questions about, Judge, were the medical records, because
No, I mean, they're saying that there's $964 due to Mr. Evans and $2,000 due to Mr. Granados.
yes, Judge.
I think there's something that said it was like 44,000, but we're gonna connect with friends of the compensation.
Okay. So there's to be restitution of $964 to Joshua Evans and $2,000 to Sebastian Granados. And what I can tell you, when you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at all. There's to be no employment, well, proof of employment within 45 days of release. There is to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no employment at any location whose sole source of, well, I shouldn't say sole source, but the majority of their business is associated with selling of alcohol. So that means you are not to be a security guard or any of that anymore. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not to work as a security guard. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Well, we just say regular UAs for this case. And let me see here. There's to be intensive outpatient treatment with probation. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, 100 of the hours will be deemed satisfied. I'm going to order anger management. And once anger management is completed, the remaining community, well, not anger management, let's do the hostility aggression course. And then once that's completed, the remaining of the 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. There's going to be field visits one time per month for 6 months. Is there anything else you would recommend, State? All right, there's to be no contact with Joshua Evans or Sebastian Granados. Probation, is there anything else? Oh, and there's this was, just one second. Does anybody, oh, here's the indictment, just one second. All right, and there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon.
Can I just confirm, call number one?
This one is 2025 CR 010277. And taking consideration 2025 CR 005860. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Oh, I'm so sorry. Probation, could you add no possession of firearms?
Yes, sir.
All right, and no possession of firearms. All right. Here's the thing, I'm not gonna be here, so you better make sure that you stay in contact with your probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And do not miss reporting to them. Do not miss calling them, because otherwise the range of punishment for this offense is up to 20 years in the prison. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Sure.
Thank you for, giving me a second chance to show that I'm more than just that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good luck to you, okay? And do right by your children.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, do y'all have the? Okay.